We know power outages can become a major problem during a storm.
Florida Power and Light crews already at work. News Channel 5's Jay Cashmere joining us with an update on outages. Jay.
That's right, John and Tanya. The FPL power tracker has been activated all evening long. Just checking in on some of the counties right here in Palm Beach County, about 640 outages. But FPL is not in a holding pattern at all. They're constantly monitoring this situation, and they're constantly giving their customers restoration if the power goes out. They know when the power goes out. If you move up to St. Lucie County, there's 280 people. That's up a little bit from earlier. This is going to be an evolving process overnight as the storm intensifies and more power outages are occurring for customers. I had a chance to catch up with Bryan Garner a short time ago on Zoom to look more at their massive effort and what FPL has in store for us overnight and when the storm passes. Bryan, thanks so much for joining us this evening. I know you all are very busy over at FPL headquarters. Tell us a little bit about your manpower right now and the outages that we're seeing right now at this hour.
That's right, Jay. We've been working for the last couple of days to assemble a restoration force of nearly 10,000 men and women. That includes more than 2,000 line workers from 20 different states, and they're coming from as far away as Texas to Georgia. They're streaming into the state so we can pre-position those crews, get them in a variety of sites all along the east coast of Florida where you're seeing this storm tracking so that they're able to restore power safely and as quickly as possible.
Talk about that, the smart grid technology. You know, we learn so much from these storms, all of us do. And I know FPL, certainly you hone your skills through each and every storm. How will this one look different from previous storms and in terms of restoration?
A lot has changed since those historic 2004, 2005 hurricanes. One of the biggest things is we've made significant investments to harden the grid, those concrete poles, underground lines, but also the smart grid that you mentioned. We have visibility across the system, so we're able to detect outages and in many cases restore outages automatically through that system. But a hurricane and a tropical storm can be a lot of manual work. What you're really talking about in these cases is debris, vegetation, palm fronds blowing into lines, and a lot of that has to be manually removed before you can restore power. So that's why all this extra manpower, the 10,000 folks that I talked about, are so important, and we're grateful for their support.
At what point do you all, safety becomes paramount for your workers? At what point do you all sort of go into a holding pattern and wait for the storm to pass? When will that happen? And are there some triggers that initiate that process?
There's no holding pattern. We are working around the clock. We'll be working all night long tonight, restoring power as soon as it's safe to do so. As soon as the wind speeds dip below 35 miles an hour, that's safe enough for us to put up a bucket truck to get up there and restore power. So we're going to be following the storm. As you're seeing that track from south to north, we're going to be following the storm, restoring power, starting Miami-Dade, Broward into Palm Beach County, and as it goes north, even through the inclement weather, as long as it's safe to do so, to try and get people back up in line as quickly as we can.
And all those workers that are currently in Daytona Beach, when will they mobilize and move into our viewing area?
As soon as the weather clears, we're going to spread out those crews. And if there is a break in the weather tomorrow, they will actually be deployed to some of the staging sites that we've set up all along the coast. And again, the point of these staging sites is to get our crews closest to the areas that we think are going to be most heavily impacted to speed restoration. We're asking our crews to be safe, but we're also asking our customers to be safe. Please maintain social distancing, 6 feet or more away from our crews. Give them a wave when you see them, but don't get too close, and try and keep the roads clear for both first responders and our crews.
And as we go through the overnight hours, Bryan, are you all, as you monitor this, and you just said there's really no holding pattern, will you continue to try and restore power from your grid and from your location to customers? Because I know we saw where about 1,600 customers lost power, but then you restored about 900 customers had power restored. So this is an evolving process, I assume, right now.
That's right. And you're going to see that all night long, Jay. If you watch the Power Tracker map that you've been showing, you can see on a county by county basis both the number of people who sustained outages and how quickly we restored them. And those numbers will change throughout the event. But our goal is to restore power as we move with the storm and try and get people back online as quickly as possible.